Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix, joining me is Rapid, and we are in our third and final show match of the week. This time it's iRk versus DM.
How you get these people to play these show matches for our amusement is beyond me, Kix. But it's
I
super
don't
sick
know.
that we have so much Brood War. I'll never know like all of the dirt that you have on all these players that you as the puppet master of the foreign Brood War community, get them to play for our amusement. But I'm very happy that they're out here doing it.
Yep, I'm also very happy that they're playing their games, otherwise I wouldn't be here casting anything, so, I mean, it's fairly important that they play their games, and luckily enough, they're all quite... I guess it's just the fact that, I mean, Brood War is obviously an old game, so most of the people are quite dedicated to it who are still playing, so that kind of helps.
It does indeed. Yours as well, Kix. So I appreciate your dedication. I'm sure everybody else does as well.
And speaking of dedication, we're going to have our third game here, and it's going to be between Arew and TousaN. Now, Arew is one of those players that was around before I even got into the scene. He has had a long break, but he's back again, and he plays Protoss for iRk now.
Man, I tell you, you think you can't drop any lower in life, and now I'm just kidding. It's gonna be cool to watch this. Is I guess kind of actually wait, what game is this? This is the third game in the series, right?
Yeah, we've got iRk sat at 2-0 lead at the moment, and standing against them is going to be TousaN for DM. Now, he didn't play that much in round 1, did play 3 games in round 2. He actually only played once in round 1 and did lose that, so that's where the 2-2 comes from. But once again, another player with a 50% win rate overall against his opponent's race. He's actually played 4 TVPs, so got a little bit of experience there in that matchup. But is he going to have any experience here on Colosseum 2?
Yeah, so we're coming into Colosseum 2. It should be noted that this is a little bit different than the base Colosseum map. Colosseum 2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, has a slightly different setup for the naturals, whereas previously there used to be a mineral base at the third that was like on the low ground. I think they removed that or moved it somewhere else. I don't know. It looks way different.
Yeah. Yeah, this was certainly an improved version over the first base Colosseum map. Now, this did spawn, I believe, from the STX Masters Cup. That was the first game that I did find on it. But it's a desert map, obviously. We've seen 2 PvTs here so far. This is going to be our third one. Now, obviously, PvT, one of my favorite matchups. I think No Regret was saying the other day it's one of his, so that's kind of weird. But PvT,
yeah, I think the first league that Colosseum 2 is used in was 2008 GOM TV Avertech Intel Classic Season 2, if I'm not mistaken. And it was also a 2008 Pro League map as well.
Okay, I'll need to update that. Update that in the database. Ready for round 3, which of course, if you don't know, is starting next week. So if you do enjoy what you see today, you can always tune in again next week and the following weeks for round 3. But let's get into our third game here between iRk's Arew and DM's TousaN. It's Arew on match point here. Can he pull it in for his team? Let's find out. And spawning up here in the top left 10 o'clock position, we do have the yellow Terran player fighting for DM. It's TousaN.
Yep, and his opponent in the, I want to say blue because it's your overlay, but it's actually white. In the white, it is iRk's Arew. I feel like Arew sounds like the name of like a character from the Jungle Book, like if it was like some cuddly animal.
Yeah, it does. It kind of sounds like Baloo, doesn't it? So I guess that's where you got it from.
A little bit, yeah. I don't actually know any of the characters from the Jungle Book because I never like watched it or read it, so that's not a part of my culture.
Wait, really? You've never seen the Jungle Book?
I wasn't allowed to watch Disney movies when I was growing up, so I don't have any identification with any of that stuff.
Wow, that's really surprising information. Yeah, I wouldn't go. I guess we won't go into why, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not a very exciting story, but yeah, I don't know about the Jungle Book. But it sounds like if that would be a character there, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, Baloo's the mid-like bear. You have obviously. Wait, you know what? I've forgotten half of the characters as well. Shere Khan is
Yeah,
the
see, it's
tiger
not
though.
that big a deal.
Wait, is Shere Khan the tiger? Yeah, I think he is. And then you've obviously got the Monkey King, who sings like "Oop doo, I want to be like you, ooh ooh, doop doo doo." That song.
Okay, see, these are the things that I didn't miss out. My parents were actually keeping me from losing brain cells.
Yeah, I lost a lot of brain cells, and that's why I cast StarCraft.
Well, truly, everybody that plays StarCraft, is working on gaining those brain cells
Yeah.
back, one game at a time, until you play like a game against some like I don't know 2 APM Protoss player that somehow teleports zealots into your mineral line and kills everything at like 2 minutes into the game. You're like, how did that happen? There's just some things that make you really question exactly how intelligent you are, and Brood War is definitely a game that does that.
Yeah, it does that more than often to me, and I mean, if people have seen me do ladder streams and whatnot, I get very, very angry at this game. So, I try and do fun builds and stuff now, and I mean, TVP is one of my favorite matchups to do that. Huge thank you, Chessie, for the 18-bit donation. Pretty cool of you. Hope to see you do some more CPL casts this time. I really enjoyed when you did those last time. Just in case as well, anyone watching does not know, there is currently a sort of tournament for sort of lower ranked players, which I am part of, called the Coach Pupil League, run by TousaN, I believe it is, this time again. And he's been putting a lot of effort in. It's currently in like a pre-season tournament, and I actually lost 2-0 to Psionic Reaver in the TVP, so I don't know.
Damn, you'll never be allowed to post on the strategy forums again.
Yeah, well, it was like that before. Like, I don't know if you know about this, but it's a harsh place in the strategy forums. You don't go in there.
That's true. It was a different time. I'm from back in the day when Chill wielded his iron mod hammer with a vengeance. So I kind of stayed out of that general area.
Yeah. And then Chill ended up getting like wait, was it? I remember Day 9 did like a drunken cast. I think it was Chill versus Combat X, if I remember rightly. So Chill kind of lost his ability to sort of make any statements about anybody else.
Well, I think Chill dominated Combat X in that series, so that's not the probably not what you're referring to. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that went down. It was a different time, and truly the real Brood War Old Boys Club is like the people that remember all of those like big like sword swinging drama wars. Like that was like truly like I didn't have a TV during that time in my life, and like that was my entertainment. Like watching these nerds like shitpost on the internet was like the thing that kept me like socially alive during those times. Oh, what a time. It was a beautiful thing, Kix.
I mean, you say you didn't watch Disney movies, but most of the drama that happened on Team Liquid was basically what a Disney movie is. So you got it in a different
I couldn't
medium.
watch Sesame Street, but I could watch these kids wield their post-count swords online. It was a fantastic alternative.
Yeah, now, just to go back to the game for a second, we've got Arew going for double gateway power goon. Now, this is a very, very strong build. Does allow you to expand behind it. But luckily enough for TousaN, he did opt to build the wall, a very strong map to wall on. And we can see that with just one tank, this initial aggression has been completely foiled.
Yes. It turns out, Kix, as you might well know as a Terran player, that in general tanks tend to stop aggression from being possible at all.
Well, you've clearly not seen me play, because my tanks, they just die. So, looks like we're going to have Arew taking his second base very, very quickly. I'm going to go straight into a Robo. Now, obviously, Observer's very strong, but you can also go for Reavers behind this. This is not the best map for Reavers, but as we did see on Wednesday, there is quite a lot of dead space behind the natural minerals, so very good to drop Reavers behind there. And it'll be kind of cool to see exactly how this is going to play out. Now, TousaN looks like he's going to... Well, he's already got his own natural expansion. Going to add into a missile turret. He's not actually added a starport or a second factory yet, though. So he's kind of blind going turrets, which is going to really hurt him here.
Yeah, I thought that he might have seen something that made that a better decision, but yeah, he is just kind of blind going turrets. Don't worry, when the mutas come, man, he'll be so defended.
I think the main reason why he did it is he didn't actually get a scout off, and when you can't scout anything, you kind of have to build turrets.
I mean, that can be the edge that you try to take to cut a corner, but realistically, if you do, then you're just kind of asking to get punished at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you've not scouted anything, you really need to build a missile turret at your front. Now, luckily enough for TousaN, he does have that very easy to take natural expansion, which is up the ramp. That's obviously going to give him a good economic boost early on. It does have a gas in as well, unlike some of the older sort of maps with the sort of in-base natural, as it were. Tanks obviously get a very strong position over the Dragoons here as well.
Yeah, just to kind of talk about builds, the 4 gates coming up with already the, I guess not the Reaver tech, but just getting out as many observers as he needs, which is probably a little bit more because he's already losing Dragoons to tanks that are sneaking up on high ground, so probably wanted to get a few of those out there. And so it's not really like an aggressive game by any means. Both players just kind of taking a little bit more time to get the factory count up, get the well, not upgrades up anytime soon, but gateway count is increasing, and looks like we're going to be going for okay, Citadel on the way.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 fact against 4 gate, at least for the time being. He does have that advantage from killing those early 2 Dragoons as well. And it's kind of funny, we saw TousaN go for those very early turrets. I mean, this does have a secondary purpose as well. It does keep observers away, and that does allow you to hide your factory count. Now, realistically, that doesn't normally matter, but he's going straight into 6 factory. Now, 6 factory does make it incredibly hard to expand behind, just because you're spending so much money on vultures. And I mean, Arew is sitting there defending against a drop that's never going to come.
Yeah, I was talking Nyoka, and he calls this an all-in. I mean, 5 fact is like, I think a lot of people are maybe more used to that, but 6 facts, like, you are just really only pumping units just for basically forever. So I don't know what totally to expect from this. You're basically going to use massive amounts of vultures. It's just a big HP wall. But this is not guaranteed to work by any means. So I don't know. I'm definitely more used to seeing 5 fact than I am 6.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my fair share of 6 facting on ladder, of course. I'm not that good, so my opponents aren't that good either, so I mean, it's kind of difficult to judge exactly how this is going to go, but for TousaN, I would say what Arew is doing is the perfect situation for him to be in. I mean, he's got a lot of tanks already. We see very few Dragoons, very few Zealots as well for Arew, and he's also going straight into a 3rd base. Now, you can expand behind this, of course. Obviously, aggression is a lot better. I mean, if you're going to expand, you're going to have to sort of cancel vaults for a while, but it looks like he's going to push through the high ground. He's bringing some SCVs with this as well. You can build turrets all over the place on this map, so very cool. Going to help against any possible DTs coming out as well.
Yeah, you definitely have to have that. I mean, he does have scans behind this, so he'll be able to buffer, but with enough mines and the turrets coming up here probably pretty soon, he should be able to... He really needs to get that turret on the way, or at least scan.
This is unbuildable.
He doesn't actually have any...
Yeah, he needs to push to the sort of orange bit. Well,
yeah.
I guess it's all orange, but here we go.
So the dark orange with rocks is unbuildable, but the light orange is buildable.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like we're going to have some really snappy reactions. Good kill on that first vulture, on the first zealot, even before he did too much damage. But here we go, DT's on the way. Nice mine going off on one of them, though. Do we have a scan? Has he realized? It doesn't look like he has. He needs to scan quickly. 1 kill on that DT already, and there's the scan.
Yeah, but he picks off 1 SCV, so he's going to need to get that second one back to building. And then the turrets will start to come up. So the problem with this build is, like, he doesn't have an armory behind it. so there's no Goliaths, no
And no
upgrades, none of
upgrades.
that. And so we'll see how all this does. I mean, the mines are actually doing a decent job buffering. The Zealots will get on top of those front tanks. It's a decently deep tank line, and the mine drags aren't coming through. But see if this is able to bust through. I think this will not be.
I think it
so
will.
close.
It is, but the units aren't rallying quick enough, and it looks like he's managed to break through with the Zealots coming in now as well. That's going to clean this up, and realistically, that's it for TousaN. Now, TousaN means father in Japanese, obviously. Well, in case you didn't realize, and Arew is certainly being disrespectful to his father right there. He has broken down his army. And I mean, TousaN is so far behind right now. His upgrades are going to be an absolute age away due to that late armory. He's not going to have a Stargate back or a Starport even back over. That's a nice mine drag on top of all of those Zealots.
Yeah, so the drag is really making this a little bit more even. I would say that was still a very hard fight to call. One thing that I am working on in my own casting is being a little bit more generous with not calling the outcome fights that are so close. But I think for that one, it's just really almost impossible to call on both sides. It was a big hold there for TousaN, but he actually has a third base behind this, and so for Arew. But
yeah.
TousaN's just now trying to get a base up, and that's going to be maybe a little bit difficult.
It's a little bit enthusiastic. He pushed out with his units again. He wants to try and get any damage. I'm thinking that maybe he can get in before the reinforcements come in from Arew's gateways, but Arew's on about 5, 6, possibly 7 gateways back at home. And I mean, this just isn't that many units for TousaN. His tank count has been completely reset, not once now, but twice. And I mean, how is he going to hold on against any possible counterattacks now? He's trying to build a third base. This has been scouted by the pylon as well. And that is shortly going to go down, I think.
Yes, yes, he kicks. I don't think that is too big of a call to make. I will say that I'm a little bit upset by only one Zealot in this army. I would say that maybe that will make it a little bit difficult, especially trying to push up high ground into tanks and mines. So he drops the one Zealot, but he doesn't have any more. So yeah, that's not going to be possible.
Yeah, but behind this, though, Arew's going into a 4th base. Back at home, he's going into his Arbiter deck as well. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways and a second Stargate as well. And I mean, 8 gateways is an infinite amount more production than what Terran can really afford right now. He's only realistically mining off of 2 bases. 3rd base just coming up. He would have had to cut some SCVs to make that 6-fact work. It's kind of hard to build enough vultures out of your factories if you don't. I mean, he's not going to be supply blocked for a while, so it is going to mean if he pumps units enough, he's eventually going to be able to turtle up to build up an army again. But, I mean, where's the armory? He's building 2 armories now, and by now you're at least expected to be on the way to 2-2 at least.
Yeah, he is just way behind for where a Terran player is going to be. And for Protoss, you know, it's just right on schedule, right? 4th base on the way, nothing really stopping that. And so this is looking really good for Arew. He's also, if he stops these vultures from getting in and dealing any economic damage, then that will just be a huge victory.
Yeah, looks like the vultures are going to get in, but there is already 2 cannons here. 2 cannons do a lot of damage to vultures. The vultures can't target probes as easily. And as you see there, the AI of the vulture is really messing up. You've got to pay a little bit more attention. I mean, maybe if it had gone behind the minerals, he may have been able to do a little bit more damage, but that's more units that TousaN's throwing away that he really can't afford.
No, you're exactly right for TousaN, and really just for Terran in general. You kind of want to build up some sort of critical mass, work towards getting maxed, but it's going to take a while, this game kicks. Although I will say that, like, you know, for Terran, as long as they are alive against a Protoss, I do feel like inevitability kind of exists. The problem is he has no upgrades, so realistically, as soon as Arbiter Tech hits, he might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he's got turrets already, not enough to really deal with Arbiters. Doesn't have that many mines in his bases just yet. He's adding up to a 7th and an 8th factory. I still don't see a starport anywhere. He's actually adding on a 9th factory as well. But he's going to need Vessel Tech. Without Vessel Tech, how on earth is he going to deal with this Arbiter? And I mean, this looks like we're actually going to see Arew push in before max. And I did see something a little bit funnier earlier where TousaN sent a Vulture to the bottom right, but he sent it just the wrong position. So he didn't see the Nexus, and he didn't see anything until the Vulture died.
Yeah, he was actually a little bit in the dark there, I guess you would say, but let's see if that gets remedied. I don't know. Wait, where's this information? So when I look at this map, the biggest thing that I notice is that there's just like no minefields. The only mines that he has are like in his actual base amongst his units, which is maybe not where you want the mines to be in the first place. But yeah, he might need to get a little bit more out on the map, but that's kind of a luxury he doesn't have because he lost those couple big fights.
Yeah, I mean, he does finally have his 9 factories. He's finally built a starport, so he's going to be able to go into a science facility. He's only now about 3/4 of the way through his 1-1 upgrades, and I mean, we've seen 1 forge for Arew, so the upgrade advantage isn't too big right now, and I mean, as soon as the Terran upgrades do start kicking in, maybe TousaN can make something happen. I mean, he's got a lot of turrets now. He spent a lot of those excess minerals just building as many turrets as possible to try and deal with any possible recalls, but it's the army that I feel he really has to worry about. We see a lot of vultures being sent out again, all of them full of mines and none of them laying any, which is really surprising to me. And I think that's one of TousaN's biggest things he can work on, sort of moving into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every player has something to work on, but I didn't know what to expect from this, but as soon as you see 6 facts go down, you gotta deal damage with it, and he really just wasn't unable to, and we're starting to see the aftermath of that.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to see these vultures getting caught off again. He is going to see where the army is, which is going to be kind of important. We saw the 5th and 6th base coming in for Protoss now, and due to the fact vessels are so late, due to the fact upgrades are so late, I mean, TousaN isn't really able to push anyway. He's got a 2k gas bank at the moment, and he just can't spend it. It's kind of crazy for me to see this, but we've got EMP coming in, got the first vessel coming in, but he hasn't started 2-2 upgrades yet. And if, realistically, if he wants to stand toe-to-toe with this Protoss army, he is going to have to get 2-2.
I mean, 1-1 is still, you know, more than he's had for the entire game, right? Yeah. So he's finally got upgrades, he's finally going to have a little bit of you know, toughness to his units. He's not pushing out yet, and as long as he's able to turtle on 3 bases, you know, maybe he can find a way to, you know, get kind of back in the game. But he is mining out, right? Yeah. His main is basically mined out. He's got 100 minerals on a couple patches, and his natural is super mined out as well. So he's gonna need to look for a 4th, and I don't really know where he's gonna get it. Probably like the I don't know, 12 o'clock, but I mean, even there is gonna be a little bit hard.
One thing I'd just like to point out that I didn't realize before, that pylon is still behind the minerals of the 3rd base. He's not killed it, so that's free vision for Arew the entire game, but I mean,
that's I guess free real estate.
It is. The only other thing that I noticed as well is because TousaN did take his 3rd so late, it's actually a lot healthier. We see a lot of gas left there, a lot of minerals, and that is going to mean he's got a good number of vultures left in him. Now, we saw him sending a lot of them out, finally laying a big minefield. I mean, look at the minefield up to his 4th base. Oh, and there's some big mines going off on the army as well.
Yeah, okay, wow. Mines, I mean, mines are really good. You know, they're 25 minerals a piece, and you get the vulture for free. So they've been one of the few things that has gone well for TousaN, but he's going to need maybe a few more if he wants to hold on to this 12 o'clock.
Yeah, he's going to need to send some units up here as well. He's really apprehensive about sending his army out because he knows one wrong move is going to lose him the game. I think he should actually cancel the command center and cut his losses. I mean, how is he going to defend against this army? He knows it's coming, so is he going to cancel?
I think at this point he's like, well, if I lose this base, I lose the game anyway, so yeah, that was not a cancel, my dude.
Yep, not a cancel. He's got 1-1 though. I think he was spending a lot of time just trying to hotkey all of his army again. Very difficult to actually do that when you've got so many units of various types. Like, he's got Goliaths, a lot of vultures, a lot of tanks. I mean, this has got to be at least 2, possibly even 3 control groups worth of tanks right now. So if there's an army that can make this work, an army that can take down the Protoss army, it's going to be this one, but he's going to need to spread his tanks well, or get that money EMP, and that is certainly going to be what a great EMP on the front 2 Arbiters.
Wow, okay, that is, that the skill is used for, but you rarely get a chance to see it be quite that effective, so, well, those things will do nothing but cloak for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we don't actually see the massive gateway farm at the other bases, so if TousaN can get on top of the units, maybe he can do something. Of course, I mean, this is just so many tanks. It's an unreasonable amount of tanks right now. Of course, he's going to need to scan, but if he can get on top of where the production is, what is Arew going to do? I mean, he's only got so many units and so many gateways that he can make use of, and it looks like his choice is going to be going into Fleet Beacon.
Is that even really a way to go? Okay, so thankfully speedlots run in and kill tanks really fast, so that's going to be a thing that TousaN really should have respected. But even still, I mean, this is, you know, 1-1, soon to be 2-2, by the way. 2-2 just seconds away. This is still starting to kind of be worrisome. Now, I will say that as a Protoss player, you kind of expect to lose your initial starting bases, especially your natural, to the first Terran push, and so you want to be out ahead of that, right? And Arew he's all over the map. He's taken almost every other base on the map, and so he's in a great spot. Even if this push does work for TousaN, like, he's taking out bases that have already been mined out. So that's basically the best possible situation. Whoa, money stasis.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, the EMP's been good, but stasis is pretty good as well. And we see 3 Stargates going down in the bottom right-hand corner. And I mean, TousaN is on a complete timer. He's not able to take his 4th base. He's just lost the majority of his army to stasis. And I think this is going to be too many units. Arew's macro has been absolutely insane this game. And these 5 Arbiters on their own, I mean, they're going to die to these Goliaths eventually, but this is just so much value coming in from this Protoss army. And TousaN can barely afford a command center right now as well. This is quite dangerous.
He's finally mixing in Goliaths, which is going to help out a little bit, but I mean, realistically, this is just... the Protoss units are just like rallying in over and over again. It's just like Zealots crushing these tanks down, and there's no vultures to buffer.
3 attack on Zealots is just absolutely insane, and I mean, this is all that TousaN has. GG! Arew takes down TousaN in a fairly clinical victory. We didn't see those carriers coming in, and we just saw one spawn. But I mean, even if TousaN managed to get into the bottom left base, the carriers would have killed everything he had. So he did a very, very good job against a very strong Protoss player. So certainly one of the players to look at as we go into round 3.
Indeed it is. Really well played there by Arew to hold on against that 6-fact. I will say that TousaN also had some really good defenses when he's on 3 bases holding against a strong push. So good holds on both sides, but overall, like, when you go for an aggressive build, it's got to pay off, and it didn't.
Yep. And that's actually going to take us into our 4th game. I know that is a 3-0 victory, but if you're watching the STPL for the first time, every single game that's played counts unless it's an ace match, and it doesn't go to the ace match, of course. So we're going to be back in just over a minute with game number 4. See you guys very